Welcome back, witches and weirdos. Today we're going to play with fire. Okay, not really, but we are going to go over the fire element. In my last 3 videos, I have covered the other 3 elements that go along with the most magnificent 4. I have done a video on water, air, and earth. Today, I give you fire. Fire to me is just the one that just really grips me. It's easy for me to sort of tap into the fire element and get done what I need to get done. That fire is definitely the way to pack a punch and to really send the message home. Candle magic is incredibly powerful. I use candles in every single spell or ritual that I perform. You don't necessarily have to, but like I said, that's the way that I find the easiest to put the fire element into my rituals. All of the elements are, really important, I think, in our daily lives. And if you can find a way to connect on a soul and a spiritual level and incorporate the 4 elements into your daily practices, you're going to find life to be a little bit more balanced. And it might seem hard to do, but hopefully in my videos I'm giving you ways in which you can incorporate these elements in order to create that balance. The fire element lies in the direction of the south. So when setting up your altar, you're going to use a candle, or you can use a different tool to mark the area of the south. Many witches will use a candle. You can use a wand, you can use a tarot card, you can use a crystal. The element of fire is considered to be masculine, so that's going to be yang energy. And I think that definitely comes to mind. We're not talking about male and female, we're talking about masculine and feminine energies, so don't get me wrong. It is definitely a masculine energy, and when you think about fire, or when I think about fire, I think of the warrior and the leader. Not that women can't be leaders, again, don't come for me, but you get my point. It's that fiery energy. I wrote down some things here that I thought of when thinking about the element of fire. Definitely life force energy, passion, and creativity. I mean, fire definitely, I think, gets us going. It's that fire inside, that creative, passionate side of us. And all of us have both masculine and feminine energies. Things that I thought of that represent the fire element. Passion, definitely passion. When you have that fiery energy, or you have that connection in a relationship that just stirs passion. Drive and ambition, when you really set out to do something, you think of that as fire energy. It just sort of propels you and pushes you forward, and it amplifies desires. I put down death. Fire is very destructive. But a lot of farmers will literally, on purpose, set their fields on fire in order to break down and purify and cleanse things to clear the land for a rebirth. Fire can be considered a healing element, as well as an element of union. When you think of the 4 elements, I want you to consider the spirit that's carried along with each of these elements. For instance, with air and earth and water, they all have a spiritual element, or elemental, if you will. And fire, with fire, I swear you can see it. Have you ever been sitting near a campfire or a bonfire and you just feel yourself sort of going into a trance-like state, just watching the flame dance around, or you're watching the burning coals underneath? There's something really powerful there. So it's easy to tap in and use this fire element in magic. Tribal energy, I wrote down. Many tribes over thousands of years have used fire in their tribal ceremonies. When you're thinking about the element of fire and how that connects to us on a personal level, obviously you've been angry before, or you've felt lower level vibrations such as jealousy. That's definitely connected to that fire energy that we have within us. I've certainly felt these emotions, and yeah. definitely connected to that fiery energy. When thinking of fire, obviously, like I said before, it's incredibly destructive. So that being said, I want you to be careful when you're using fire, whether it be in candles or lighting fires of any sort. Please be careful. You know, it's very destructive and it can hurt you. So warmth and light, you know, many moons ago, before all of this technology that we have now, that's literally the way that they functioned. They used fire to cook with and to heat their homes and to light the rooms. When I'm working with the fire element, it definitely pulls me into my soul. It pulls me to the deeper spaces within, you know, whether it's on a psychic level or just that deep, deep part of your soul. Again, going back to sitting around a campfire, you can just get lost in thought, and that's one of the reasons I love both water and fire. They just bring something up in me, and it's easy for me to tap into areas, the shadowy realms of my psyche and the emotional aspects of myself. I find that both water and fire are equally powerful in my craft. When thinking about the fire element also, you know, that stirs up feelings of love and passion, as I mentioned before. It's connected to family, you know, the hearth and the fire in the home, the warmth of the family. Thinking of fire in terms of your willpower, you know, just having a strong will, I think, is connected to the element of fire. Fire is considered to be a messenger, sort of not only a gateway, but a messenger from earth to the heavens or into the cosmos. A good way for me to describe this is a lot of times in my ritual, one of the ways that I will use the fire element is when lighting an incense. So as I light the incense and I see that flame burning for just a couple of seconds before either I blow it out or it goes out on its own, I will project my intention into the fire, and then as it goes out, the smoke sort of carries up that intention or that thought or that blessing up and out into the universe so that it can do its thing. Fire is also connected to change and alchemy, power and authority, war and destruction, as I mentioned earlier. It represents concentration and focus, protection and transformation, magic in the mind. So there are many different ways, you know, many different things out there that represent the element of fire. So also too, what I've done in my previous videos regarding the elements is, as I mentioned, to sort of incorporate what's out there with what's in here. Try to find a balance. Not try to find a balance, but try to find a way to connect with the four elements on a daily basis. Four elements represent the energies on our planet and in our universe. It's sort of the connecting elements to us, and it helps us to find that energetic balance within. So it's really important to consider how the elements make you feel. That's how you're going to find sort of a gateway to how to connect. Like, for instance, birthday candles. You know, when it's your birthday, mine's in a week from Saturday. Yay, I'm gonna be the birthday girl. So when those candles are lit for me, that's my day. And so those little flames, I'm not gonna tell you how many of them, but those represent me, and it's my day. So, you know, it's gonna make me feel special. Sitting by a fire, I keep mentioning that one, but that's definitely my favorite way to connect. You know, and how fire, when I talked about earlier, the lower level vibrations in regards to emotions that we feel, like jealousy and rage and anger and those kind of things. How to, you know, that's the fire element being incorporated into your emotions. So I also have here a list of ways in which you can connect to the fire element. As I've said in my previous videos, a good way to connect with all of the elements is meditation. And if you can visualize, that's also very helpful. Lighting incense is a great way. Fire of any sort, you know, go out and create a campfire or a little fire if you have a fire pit in your yard. Another beautiful way to connect with the element of fire is sun gazing. And I'm not saying to go outside and stare at the sun, because we don't want anybody getting blinded here. But go outside and sit out in the sun and literally just close your eyes and point your face towards the sun and just feel the warmth that the sun gives you. There's also candle work. So that can be just lighting a candle and gazing into the flame, watching it dance, and just sort of getting in touch with what feelings come about when you're doing that. That's a great way to connect. Another way to connect with the fire element is just to have a specific candle in a room in your house that you light each and every day. I have one in my living room that I try to light every evening, every afternoon, evening, and then when I blow it out or put it out in the evening, I either say a blessing or set an intention, or just more or less just thanking the element of fire for being a part of my day. You can certainly have a candlelit bath. That's a nice way to sort of get the feels and incorporate that into your day or evening. Another way is by yelling, and I know that that sounds crazy, but anything internal that, you know, not in an angry way, but if you just go outside, if you're in an area where you can do this, otherwise your neighbors or whatever are going to think you're nuts. Just go and just yell. Let out like the biggest yell. That is a great way. I know it sounds crazy, but try it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go into the woods and just start yelling. Let that passion inside out. Set it free. Because believe it or not, you know, we hold a lot of stuff in, us humans do. And sometimes you just got to get it out. And I don't know, I consider that to be a way to connect with the fire element. Dancing and chanting are also great ways to connect with the fire element. Yeah, tribes around the world have been doing that for hundreds of years. Just body movement is definitely a fiery way to release energy or pull in energy for that matter. Any type of exercise and moving the body, when you get your heart rate going, you can consider that to be a connection to the element of fire. Using crystals is definitely a good way as well. I have here a beautiful, this is my favorite one to work with. There's a glare on it, but still you can see the beautiful veins going through here. This is carnelian, and this is a crystal that is connected with the fire element. I love this one so much. There's also ceremonial smoking. Obviously you have to light the tobacco or whatever type of herb that you might be smoking. You have to use the fire element in order to create that smoke or to light that fire, and so that's another good way. And then last but not least, we have using divination. As I mentioned before, that can be candles, that can be using tarot cards, and then sex. You can definitely use sex to connect with the element of fire, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, and with that being said, now I am going to reference my handy dandy correspondence book. I have mentioned this guy in my last 3 videos on the elements. This is just a great book to have. This book is fantastic because it's going to give you all of the different things that go along with the elements. And so I'm going to list off here for you some of those things so that you don't necessarily have to go out and buy this big honking book. Obviously you can if you want to, but if you don't, then you've got it right here in a video. So without further ado, I will get started. And I'm not going to list off absolutely every single one. That would create a very, very, very long video. So I'm just going to list off some of the major ones and some of the specific ones that I can actually pronounce. So as I said before, in the zodiac, the 3 signs that go along with the fire element are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I think I mentioned, I'm not sure, you don't have to be one of these signs in order to feel or relate with or connect with that element that goes along with the zodiac. The season that corresponds is summer. The planets that correspond are Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun, like I said before. Celebrations are Beltane, Imbolc, and Letha. The energy is Yang energy. The direction is the south. Colors are crimson, gold, orange, pink, red, white, and yellow. The associated chakra is the solar plexus. Tarot cards associated are Judgment, Swords, and Wands. In my last video regarding air element, I talked about the switcheroo that goes along sometimes with swords and wands. They can be switched in some practices. I personally consider wands to go with the element of fire. Trees that correspond are alder, ash, beech, blackthorn, cedar, cherry, chestnut, elder, hawthorn, holly, juniper, mesquite, oak, olive, palm, pine, pomegranate, walnut, willow, witch hazel, and yew. Anyway, you know what really lights a fire under my butt? Herbs and garden. We have angelica, basil, carnation, chrysanthemum, dill, fennel, garlic, golden seal, hibiscus, holy basil, marigold, peony, peppermint, poppy, primrose, rosemary, St. John's wort, snapdragon, sunflower, vervain. Some spices and miscellaneous plants. Allspice, a word I can't pronounce, black cohosh, blessed thistle, bloodroot, cinnamon, cinquefoil, clove, coriander, cumin, frankincense, ginger, ginseng, highjohn, mandrake, mustard, nettle, nutmeg, pepper, thistle, and wormwood, gemstones and minerals, banded agate, amber, ametrine, Apache tears, beryl, golden beryl, bloodstone, calcite, orange or red, carnelian, citrine, diamond, garnet, hematite, herkimer diamond, jasper, obsidian, onyx, fire opal, peridot, pyrite, quartz, rhodochrosite, rhodonite, ruby, sardonyx, serpentine, smoky quartz, sunstone, tiger's eye, topaz, red tourmaline, and zircon. Metals are another word I can't pronounce, and I'm not going to try to because you guys will laugh at me. Whatever that word is. Brass, gold, iron, and steel. Ritual tools that are connected to the element are the censer and the wand. And then here it lists off, this is kind of like what I listed for you earlier, so this might seem a bit redundant, but it's issues, intentions, and powers that are sort of connected to the fire element. And those are action, to activate and awaken, ambition, anger, authority, battle, and war, cheerfulness, communication, concentration, and focus, confidence, let's see, consecration and blessing, courage, creativity, defense, desire, destruction, divination, energy, faith, freedom, healing, honor, illumination, influence, inspiration, intelligence, intuition, justice, leadership, life, light, and love, lust, magic, the mind, motivation, power, passion. Did I say passion? You see, passion and fire, I'm telling you, yeah. Protection, psychic ability, purification, purity, purpose, release. That was what I was discussing earlier with the yelling. It's just like a release, you know? Revenge, sexuality, stimulation, transformation, truth, warmth, weather, And willpower. Yeah, weather. I didn't mention that one. You know, you think of lightning and that fiery element there. I hope that I've given you something to think about here, and I've helped you in regards to connecting with the fire element and understanding sort of ways to, you know, incorporate that into your daily practice, not only in a magical way, but just to balance your body and your mind and your soul and spirit. The four elements are really, really important. And if you haven't checked out my other 3 videos, go and check those out. Yeah, the elements shouldn't, I don't think they should just be used in spellcraft, and I don't know, they're really, really important. And I personally find balance when I put these into my daily practice, you know. For the water element, I leave out a dish of water. The fire, I use incense and candles daily. Earth, I'm grounding each and every day. And then, what's the other one? Air. Air, I mean, come on, every breath you take is connected to the air. So, but incense is a way in which I think about the air element on a daily basis. So, enough babbling. I hope this video has helped you, and I will be back soon with another video. Until then, stay magical and be blessed. I will see you soon. See ya.